Hello there and welcome to a new Hasbro Star Wars tragedy. Oh boy, yay! Look at how fast this head spins. It's like a Beyblade. It goes like full 180 on me. That was a full 360. Full 360 again. There you go. Really fast. The head's basically just like... Anyhow, we're gonna get to that in a second, but I would like to note that since this is a review of a Hasbro product, I would like it to be known that I do not support Hasbro right now. I support Star Wars, and if I could buy these figures from someone else, I would be. That being said, what Hasbro did with the Trolls World Tour Poppy doll is weird. Of course, we know this, but you know, these figures are important to us collectors. So I would like Hasbro to know that if we could buy these exact figures from another company, we would, but we can't, so we're buying from them. Anyhow, the figure itself, for the most part, it's better than what I just joked about, but my particular figure is a little janky, so that's the only word I can think of. I will note that I really love these shoulder pads here. Let's get onto the box, actually. I can't forget that. It's from the Mandalorian, even though it's not a Remnant Stormtrooper. I'm assuming these are Moff Gideon's Stormtroopers. Those were clean. And we have the back, nice artwork, new artwork, not old artwork, and nice coloring, same color scheme as our Beskar Mandalorian packaging. And what's more, we have a cohesive piece of artwork here. I'm assuming that we're going to be getting more Mandalorian figures. I haven't been keeping up to date with the new Black Series releases. I heard we're getting a Moff Gideon figure, but I'm not sure if that's for Finished Collection or Black Series. I would also love a reissued or improved. Reissued/improved would be nice because I didn't get the first one, and I'm sure there could be improvements. There's always improvements that can be made on Hasbro Star Wars figures. Cara Dune is what I was trying to get at. So if we get a new and reissued Cara Dune, it'd be awesome to have her down the row. And there's also nothing that implies that this is the first figure this way. So I'm assuming that there's going to be more figures that come out that can connect to this end and more figures that can connect to this end because his arm isn't fully there. And if it was the first image, then his arm would be fully there. And maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they... I think I expect more of Hasbro than what we've gotten, so I guess maybe it's safe to assume that I can't assume. But anyhow, cohesive artwork, very cool. I like the color. The goldish, orangish sunset color is very cool. So that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at him. So same deal as the... Actually, what should I talk about first? Let's read this off and then I'll get to what I was about to say.
Imperial Stormtrooper. Stormtroopers are elite shock troopers. Fanatically. Stormtroopers are elite shock troopers fanatically loyal to the Empire and impossible to sway from the Imperial cause. They wear imposing white armor which offers a wide range of survival equipment. Very cool.
Is it very cool? Is it? Okay. So we have this little window up top here, and that is a result of using more plastic. We love it, Hasbro. So you're using a lot of plastic, and you're supporting weird pedophilic figures. So we love it. So there's this double bubble gum here. So we got that figure encasing there, and we have a shield for the figure encasing. Typically, this would be a plastic cover here and a plastic cover here, but they actually omitted that window a bit back after Rogue One. They did like this test run of that top window for the Rogue One figures, and I don't know what caused them to bring this back. I don't know if they realize or not that it's pointless and stupid. So I really am trying to figure out like why they did that, and I guess it's like, oh, you can kind of see above, but you know, you can kind of see, not above, but down below. You can look down below at there above, is what I wanted to say. So, this figure, though, is... It has issues, but it's a nice figure. I like that they're addressing and fixing the double jointed knees. Actually, let me run and grab one of my other Stormtroopers as a quick comparison. I do ask that you try your darndest to ignore or at least disregard the difference in color here. This one's not a bluish, boring white, it's just a white. It's a regular white. And this backdrop here is not regular white, it's like a creamy white. So this looks blue and gray and weird and boring, like a weird, boring LED light. So sorry for my lack of adjectives, but this does not. So it's, I don't know, I'm seeing it in person here. This looks awesome in terms of color and paint apps. The joints are where we're running into issues here, and so does this. It's just they're different figures, and I actually never really noticed how yellowish this one is. It actually looks a little, maybe a little too yellow, I don't know. And I don't have a regular Stormtrooper to compare it to. I just started collecting Black Series this year, so I mean, I know this is more yellow than my other figures, than my 3 3/4 inch, but I don't know that it's more yellow than the regular Black Series, and I'm just assuming that it is. So let's see. With that being said, I'm going to point out the sculpt differences here. The shoes are a big one. Thin shoes here, almost no room for a foot actually, and these are regular old boots. So you can see how thin the toes are on this versus this. There's the double jointed knees here, which if you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm not a fan of. But I do like everything else, so I deal with it. Regular, classic. This is what we've been wanting. I mean, this is what you did years ago, Hasbro. I mean, what was with the that weird experiment that lasted so long with those double jointed knees? I mean, you're gonna get everyone to realize that they don't like that as much. So, I mean, you're doing it to yourselves. You're presenting something better after you've been doing something else for years. So, yeah, I mean, look how weird this looks. It's like very angular. And he still gets a nice range of motion here. Like, basically the same range of motion, actually. So, no problem there. Oh, also the crotch piece. This is awesome. I really didn't have a problem with this until now, but now that I'm comparing the two, look at this. It looks tiny. He has like little tiny underpants on. Basically. And it makes the head look huge, and it makes the shoulders look like really obtuse and janky and clunky. So, oops, that looks weird. Yeah, I don't know, but better Stormtrooper, but mine has issues. Oh, actually, I'm still comparing. Sorry, the head here. So this is just a helmet on a peg, on a nice peg at that. But then this one is a helmet on a head, and if you didn't notice already, the head has looked really weird the entire video, and that's because it sucks. It's fucking garbage. My head is really loose, and also they glued the helmet on the head, so I'm gonna have to like heat that up to I don't know how hot. Look at that, look how off. In order to get the head to look straight, look at how far to the side the helmet has to be, because look how tilted the actual head is. So yeah, if I have the head underneath straight, like if I align his jawline with the actual body, that's what the helmet looks like. His head's like tilted, and then he also doesn't stay in position. So my head is like completely trashed on mine, and it really sucks. There were two at the Target that I bought them at, but there was a paint mess up on the other one, and I just didn't notice this mistake in the package. So had I noticed, I would have obviously favored the other one, but again, I wasn't aware of this issue, so I'm not sure if it would have even been preventable had I noticed, because you can't really see it in the box. And also, I don't know if his head's backwards right now or if it's forwards. This figure sucks. This figure sucks. It costs too much to get this, you know. It's a lot of money for what we're getting if they're giving us figures that are this cheaply made. Also, mine doesn't want to seem to find a nice spot to lock into at all here, whereas this one definitely has preferable points, and it really rests easy at those points. So there's better range of motion here for sure, just because it works better, and this is just, it is really weird. So I don't know. I mean, I think if you buy a lot of these, you just want to have them on a shelf, like kind of standing there eating shit, like if in a large group, like all like shooting a Jedi. Like that'd be funny if they're like holding their hand above their helmet, like laughing as they're shooting a Jedi. But aside from that, it's really easy to notice the mistakes if you're not like actively. I don't know what I was gonna say. My sentence didn't really finish, but it's easy to notice the mistakes if you're not looking at a bunch of them. If you're just looking at this one and you like go to pick it up and you're like, oh, his head like clicks out weird, and it's just a weird figure. So I don't know. I mean, aside from the helmet issue, the figure's fucking awesome, and that's why I'm a little disappointed, to be honest, is because the figure would have been so awesome. I do think let's see. I was going to bring up the helmet sculpt, but I wanted to bring up something else. Oh yeah. So these shoulder pads, they're like this rubbery material, and they're attached not to the arm, but they're actually attached to a little ring sort of piece in between here and whatever connecting joints. And oh, and his arm also goes back. So that's an interesting range of motion we have there. Wow, I can't believe how good my iPhone films. It was a great decision switching to my iPhone. I mean, that looks fine. I mean, like, honestly, for display purposes, it's chill. It's just, again, janky, unnecessary. It's just so weird. I feel like the thing is, he's not able to. It just moves so weird. I mean, if you have one of these figures, let me know what you think. Like, let me know if you got this same issue with the figure, because I don't know anyone else who has this exact figure. Actually, no, I'm lying. I do have one friend. I could ask him, but I'm not sure if he opens his figures. Though I would hope if he buys Black Series that he does open them. So I could ask my buddy. He actually lives in the same city as me, so I told him, I was like, hey, Target has a bunch of them, you should go. And then he went and he bought them all. So the good news is he didn't buy doubles, so he's not eating up everyone's cake. He's just eating up his own cake. Because finders keepers, I guess, right? Anyhow, oops. Is he gonna stand? No, he's not. So we're gonna put him here. Oh yeah, so before I end the video, I would like to address, I hypothesize something about this figure and its mistakes. If you'll notice that the helmet's a little bent on top. Not a lot, just a wee bit. It's coming up a little bit on that side. This is one of the better ones. I've seen some pretty bad ones online. But what's causing that is that this is a sort of like, not totally rubbery, but softer rubber or softer plastic material. And what's happening is, in the factory, when they're gluing the helmet onto the head that's underneath, this white head, they're gluing the helmet and head together when both of them are still hot. Like they're not totally hard pieces of plastic yet. And I know that because in order to assemble these figures, the figures have to be soft still, or else you're not going to get these joints together with hard plastic. So the plastic still has to be warm and malleable to some extent. So what happens is if someone glues on the helmet to one of the heads and they do it incorrectly, then the helmet's going to end up taking some of that shape. And I can show you actually another good example. 2012 Vintage Collection Commander Gree, and 2012 also, correct me if I'm wrong, Legacy Collection Commander Cody figure. Totally different types of helmets in terms of material. So, first of all, they both have removable helmets. A lot of people didn't like the removable helmets that we got back in the day because a lot of them were morphed. I've gotten quite a few morphed removable helmets, as you can see here. This one's morphed as well. Goes up on that side. Not as apparent as some really bad ones I've seen, but enough so that I'm like, yeah, when I look at it. But I like the figure, and I basically stan this figure. This is one of the best Clone Trooper figures we've gotten. But I digress. This is a hard material. It's not hard, but it's just a little softer than this material here. It's about maybe 30-something% softer. Whereas this here is a rubbery material. Look how tiny that head is. Why did everyone want this? I know why, because it's Commander Cody. Look at that head. Look at that. It's like a shrunken head. Oh, it's so tiny. But he looks great with the helmet on. Anyhow, his helmet is perfectly sized, and it's like this really nice rubbery material, which means that most of the Commander Codys that came out for this era didn't have a morphed helmet. Look. It's basically perfect. With this one in particular, I'm a little curious as to what Hasbro's line of thinking was when making this. First of all, they made this a head, and I'd assume that it's for accurate sizing, right? Like, the proportions look awesome. But it's also a little curious because, I mean, they're probably going to make a new Han and Luke figure, actually, and that's probably why they did that, matter of fact. But I'm just wondering why they would glue on the helmet. I mean, you know, nobody would have been mad about a clone head. But then again, people would be like, why is it a clone? Stormtroopers aren't clones. And maybe that's kind of why they glued it on last minute. They were like, oh,
Fuck, we fucked up. Stormtroopers aren't clones. Who the fuck didn't tell us Stormtroopers weren't clones?
the guy nods like, I don't know.
I thought they were clones. When did they not become what? Finn was a Stormtrooper, guys. He's black. He's not a clone.
Yeah, they look really different now that I look at them side by side. I like this more in terms of appearance. I really do. I just wish mine didn't have those issues. And the plastic on this is a little heavier, but this is a little not as heavy. Not cheap, but not super heavy. Oh wait, is this? Oh, look at that. This is a separate piece here. Oh my god. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Oh wow. I guess they're just trying to add as much depth to the figures as possible. So like in theory maybe they were like, oh, let's put a head under so we can imagine there's a person there. I don't know. I'm gonna run with my Han and Luke theory though, because I would love a new Han and Luke figure. Let's see. Sorry about my tripod, it moves very easily. Anyhow, that's the new Star Wars Black Series Imperial Stormtrooper. It's one of Moff Gideon's Stormtroopers because it's not dirty as shit, so that's my only assumption. I hope you go get one. I do. I hope you get one that's not messed up like mine, or if you do, I hope you don't care that it's messed up, because overall it's a really cool figure, and if you're going to have a white Stormtrooper, this is the one you should have. Anyhow, have a great day. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Wow, I haven't said that in a long time. Have a good day.